Hey guys, it's Katie, and I'm here today to do my January wrap up. In January, I read 9 books. That's never gonna happen again. Some were really, really great, others were completely awful. I had two 1-star rating books, and that pretty much never happens. I haven't had a 1-star read book for quite a while, and so that was really interesting and kind of wild. So the first book I read in January, or finished in January, was Dragonhaven by Robin Hobb, and this is the second book in the Rainwell Chronicle and the 11th book in the Realm of the Elderling series, and I really enjoyed this, and I ended up giving it 4 out of 5 stars, and I can't tell you much more about it because then I would be spoiling you for a lot of things that happen throughout the entire series and also just in the world in general. Second book I read in January was City of Dragons, also by Robin Hobb, which is the third book in the Rainwild Chronicle and the 12th book in the Realm of the Elderling series. This is my favorite from the quartet that I'm reading. So the Rainwild Chronicles is made of 4 books. This is the third one. This was my absolute favorite so far because it starts to tie the whole world together. So each trilogy kind of explores a different part in some ways, and this really starts to tie everything together, and it's really, really wild to see. The third book I read in January was Animal Farm by George Orwell, and I gave that, just like I gave City of Dragons, 5 stars. So those are my 2 5-star rated books of the month. But Animal Farm, I didn't know what to expect going into that, but I ended up really, really, really enjoying it. It's incredibly relevant. It's so wild and crazy, and I just ended up having a really great experience reading it. Basically, it uses animals that live on an animal farm to describe and explain all of the political and governmental structures that have been circulating the world. And I couldn't stop talking about it for like a good solid 3 days. And I still bring it up every so often now. But that was a really great book, and I'm so glad I read it. And then the next 4 books that I read, Xenomorph series. So I read number 26, 27, 28, and 29 in the Animorph series. Book 26 got a 3 out of 5 stars. Book 27 also got a 3 out of 5 stars. Book 28 got a 1 out of 5 stars, and book 29 got a 4 out of 5 stars. And that's just continuation of the Animorph series and the craziness that is their lives. So you'll hear more about Animorphs later this year because I'm planning on finishing the series sometime, hopefully in May or June, and I'll do a full review of everything at that point. But know that I'm going to be reading at least a few of them every month. Next, after those, I read How Soccer Explains the World, An Unlikely Theory of Globalization by Franklin Foer. And I gave this book a 3 out of 5 stars on Goodreads. I really don't know how I feel about this. It was an interesting read from a historical standpoint in a lot of ways because it describes a lot of events that I'm very familiar with and talks about countries that I'm very familiar with and talks about it for kind of using the game of soccer, and it talks about different economic theories. That was the weird part for me because I'm not super familiar with economics, so it was really I got lost. Let's just put it that way. I got lost in this, and I think I lost what the greater meaning of this what I was supposed to get out of this book was. And the last book that I read in January was The Fellowship of Fear by Erin Elkins. And I gave this book a 1 out of 5 stars. It was complete and utter garbage, but it was completely terrible. I'm probably never going to pick up another one of Erin Elkins' books, even though the premise was interesting. The execution, the characters, how he wrote it was completely terrible. And I pretty much threw this book across the room at least 3 times upon reading it. So that should tell you everything. But those are all the books that I read in January. It was a really great reading month. As I said, it probably won't happen again until summer. But I had a really great time. But if you've read any of these books or want to talk to me about any of these books, feel free to comment or me on social media and get and talk to me there. And that's pretty much what I've got for you today. So I will come back with another video for you soon. Okay, bye.